Hello, property nomads. Hope you're doing well. So the UK has suffered a major setback because of a £600 million solar farm that was meant to be Europe's biggest, but it's been put on the back burner, pardon the pun. So this makes me wonder if they know something that we don't know, or people are starting to realise that solar maybe isn't the answer that we need for all the baseload energy that we would need to generate in the UK. Who knows what's going on, or maybe the government actually don't want to use any more taxpayer cash to pay for projects that aren't probably going to work in the long run. Let's have a look at the article itself. So again, link will be in the description below. This comes from Daily Express via MSN as per usual. So yeah, major setback for UK's huge £600 million solar farm that will be Europe's biggest. It's basically the government have kept moving the sticks for whatever reason. They've decided, so they've moved it back now until June. That's a couple of times they delayed this decision. But the site is proposed to be constructed in a couple of council areas. That probably doesn't help. It would cost you and I, or the taxpayer, about £600 million, I imagine. Of course, you've got the usual claims that it's going to generate electricity, it's going to generate jobs, it's, would run for 40 years, etc., etc., etc. But again, I think there's an underlying reason why this project has been shelved. And I mean, this article doesn't really go into why, and you get the usual sort of government speak as well. Of course, you've got all the eco people out there that are loving it, and they want this project to go ahead. They're upset the government have stopped. But again, if it's a finance issue, that's probably quite important, and we need to know about it. Maybe all these panels aren't generating what they should need to, or as we've said before on this channel, maybe it's just down to the fact that the grid isn't ready for this massive influx of electricity and generation to come onto the grid. We need to, if we're going to invest in infrastructure, we need to do that in order to meet any of these crazy objectives that we're probably not going to meet anyway. Matt Hancock, who's a former disgraced health secretary for various reasons, I won't go into that here. He wants a stop put to Sonica. It's called the Sonica development. He says it needs to be rejected. I'm not sure why he says that. Maybe he's got a personal vendetta against something. It's the fourth setback for the project. And even better, the Department for Energy Security and Net Zero has not publicly explained the reason for the decision postponement. Apparently, the land would be built on decontaminated. The land that it would be built on, sorry, would become decontaminated and return to its original agricultural state once the scheme is finished. And of course, you've got the usual numbers: generate energy for 172,000 homes, create 1,500 jobs, and then upon completion, there'll be 27 full-time roles, etc., etc. Funny enough, the two councils involved, so the East Cambridgeshire District Council and Suffolk County Council, they both oppose the proposals, which is funny because they probably know their area better than the government does, and they're saying, yeah, this isn't, we don't want this here. This is probably not going to work. Why? I would imagine because the area of land is probably quite good agricultural land, and we talk about energy shortages and we talk about all of this sort of stuff on the channel. One thing we haven't really spoke about before, and we might talk a bit more about moving forward, is food shortages. So we've got these increases in energy and oil and gas and all the production things, all the cost of things has basically been going up. And 9 times out of 10, that's passed on to the consumer, in all fairness. There's only so much as a business you can absorb your costs. Most of it gets passed on to the consumer. So we end up paying higher prices for stuff. And possibly this land, I don't know, I'm going to make a good guess here, is that maybe this land is actually very, very good agricultural land and could be used for agricultural purposes. Now, I'm not saying that's going to lower food costs as such, because even we've had protests from farmers in this country about various government policies in place. But maybe that's the reason there. Maybe the reason it's been rejected by the aptly named Department for Energy Security and Net Zero is that it's not a viable project. Maybe there's not enough companies willing to take it on. Maybe the numbers just don't add up. And rather than be seen to be doing something, maybe it's better to shelve the project because the numbers don't work. Now, that makes sense if that's the case. But of course, this is where we get back into the old, not adage, that's not the right word, but this is where we get back into this degree of eco warriors and climate enthusiasts or climate crises people, want all this solar, want all these wind turbines, and want all this energy. They don't care about the cost of it. They want it, but they're then probably the same people moaning when their electric bill goes up, because the world doesn't work in this utopian way that people think it works or people want it to work. It's just reality. Reality meets fantasy. We've always said the same thing about environmental economics, that if you study it in university, or like I did, or you study it nowadays, the theory behind it, yeah, it makes good sense. The theory behind it makes good sense, but the practicality of it doesn't make sense, because the minute someone gets a bill for it, you don't like it. I'm stingy at the best of times. Everyone knows I'm a little bit tight. And if I was running the show, then nothing would get done, to be fair, because it has to be a numbers game. And environmental economics is the same. Or theory, yes, absolutely, stacks up wonderfully well. Superb. But the minute you give the bill to someone for it, they don't want it. They don't want to pay for it. And there's only so much you can get away with stealthily passing it on to the taxpayers. People like you and I, people that pay electric bills, if we're not at the level where we're self-sufficient, standing charge, all that sort of stuff. We all have gripes about it in the UK, and we're going to continue to do so. So what I will say is, if the project has been postponed or is likely to be postponed permanently because it's a numbers thing and the numbers don't work and the project doesn't make sense, then I say hands up, congratulations, good business decision making. The councils oppose it, the landowners seem to oppose it as well. So why push ahead with it? It's not HS2 after all. So if it is a numbers game, I say congratulations to the government, to be fair, or that department, if that's the case. And, eco people, eco zealots, eco warriors need to understand this, that if we're going to get energy security in the UK, there needs to be good baseload energy. And the answer to that is nuclear. It's the cleanest energy out there that can provide good baseload energy. More and more people are waking up to that, yes. Okay, gas and oil, what, they're going to be around for years. They're going to be around forever, probably. And you don't just go cold turkey, because, well, number one, you don't do that. Number two, our energy system, our energy security, we don't have it here in the UK. If you want to see your electricity go off the rails, quite literally, then be my guest. If you want your electricity bills to go up, I don't know, tenfold, be my guest. I certainly don't want that. And I'm sure, again, these eco warriors need to understand economics and environmental economics, I think, a bit better, rather than just ram this net zero down our throats, because it's not good. Anyway, ran over. What I would say, going back just to summarize the article, is if the project's been delayed or it gets cancelled and it's for physical reasons, then I'll hold my hands up and I go, well done, government. Well done. Makes perfect sense. Don't do it. It seems like everyone doesn't want the project, or people in the area don't want the project anyways. If the land could be used for something different or something better, then great. What I would say to eco warriors is go and learn some economics, go and learn some environmental economics, because this isn't all about just chucking a big bunch of cash at something, because at the end of the day, you can chuck whatever cash you want to at various projects, but who's going to end up paying for it? Chances are you are going to end up paying for it. I'm going to end up paying for it. We're all going to end up paying for it here in the UK. And people might say, well, that's the price we need to pay for being net zero. No, you go and try tell that to people that pay their electric bills, and I'm sure you will get told where to go. You could do a small favor for us, please. That would be to like and subscribe to the channel. The channel's growing nicely. We thank you for that. It is really, really good thing to see. and that's down to your support. You enjoy the content, hopefully. We enjoy producing it, and it's a good way to get things off my chest for sure. So thank you very much. Do like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.